Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a PinBuilder video. This one is a performance improvement progress video. So I just want to show you what I've done in order to really bring some improvements to the performance of the game, and I think you guys are all going to be really pleasantly surprised. So first of all, I want to show you that I am running the game in Ultra all the way, and I have motion blur turned off, only because I like it better with it off. But you know, you can turn it on or off, and it's not going to affect frame rate. So my frame rate is capped at 144 because that's my monitor frame rate. And let's just go back and take a look at the game. Now you're going to notice up in the upper right hand corner, the FPS is showing. This is only visible when you have this gameplay HUD showing. And right now I have a lot of balls on the screen, obviously, and they're not really even going to affect performance having more than one on the screen at a time. Let's see if we can't get rid of a few of these, if they'll stop bouncing, which is going to kind of be hard to do. There we go. There. All right, so as you can see, the performance of the table and the balls has improved immensely. Now, you're wondering probably, why, Anna? Is it so much better than it was? Well, there's two reasons. The first reason, well, three reasons actually, probably more than that. The first reason is that I had the game running using a rendering method that was new to Unreal Engine called Lumen. Lumen is amazing. It's beautiful. It looks awesome, and it provides a really, really realistic look to the game or any environment, but it is a sacrifice when it comes to frame rate. So I decided, hey, let's copy the project and try running it with no Lumen. So it took some finagling, and I turned Lumen off, and I built the project without it, and was pleasantly surprised to discover I had a lot more frames per second. So after that, the next thing that I discovered that was a real problem was shadows. So if you would go into settings here and turn shadow quality to ultra, especially with Lumen on, that was causing some serious frame rate loss. And I didn't like that. So what I did was I went through all of the lighting, and there's a little stutter in the video because I got OBS running. So it's not this rough when I'm not recording, just FYI. So what I did was, there are some lights in this room. You can see there's quite a few in this particular room here. And I went in and I killed the shadows on a lot of them. But let's see, let's go back and open up the regular arcade, because I did actually do more work in this one, and there's a lot less lights in here that cast shadows now. And the frame rate in this particular room should be a lot better. That's about the same, jumping up to into the 120s, which is pretty good actually. Let's get a little more light in here. One of the things I did do was I removed some of the processing of the cables down there, and I simplified the ones that aren't on the main machine. Those do not impact performance, as they're just physics objects that are very simple, and they have a very negligible impact on performance. So in this room, you can see there are some shadows happening, and the playfield lights still do cast shadows. The inserts don't, but the other ones do. And so if we start up a game and we spawn some balls, you'll see that, let's take that glass off. You'll see that the quality of the rendering is way better, and the frame rates are much higher. And this is all on maximum settings. So I'm just going to put that on autoplay, so it'll put that itself there. So that was the next thing I did, was I took out shadows out of a lot of the lights. So there are some rooms I still need to update, cut the lighting down on those, and let's go back over here. You can see the room is pretty dark right now, and we can bring the lighting up. And it's really not designed to be without the glass, so it looks better with the glass on. Anyways, so my point I'm trying to make, I'm sorry, I'm not going to edit this video, I'm just kind of trying to slap it together real quick, is that I took lumen out, I reduced the shadows being cast by most of the lights, and what else? Let's see. Oh, the ball had a physics property set to it. So in Unreal Engine, it's called a physics material. And that material was causing some major issues with friction. And the ball, you know, you would shoot the ball and it would slow down midstream, and it looked very odd. It was not normal looking at all. I think somebody pointed that out once, and I thought I had resolved it, but I had not. I have since removed friction from the balls completely, so there is no friction on them anymore. They are just dependent on whatever the friction is of the objects that they're running around on or bumping into or whatever. So there's a much more natural look and feel to the movement of the balls themselves. So that was number 3. And then, let's see, that left flipper doesn't have a lot of power, apparently. Speaking of flippers, well, never mind, nothing about the flippers. So another thing you might notice is the slingshots here are much, much more realistic, actually. Let's drop some more balls so we can get them to really move. So they move quickly, but what's nice is that one of the things I had done was I had added a solenoid power to those, and it was simply just all that was powering the ball, basically. So now there's a physical connection between the rubber and the balls. So if the rubber doesn't come straight at the center, it won't bounce straight off. It'll be affected by the angle of the rubber. So that was a really minute effect in the last iteration, but it is much, much more improved this time. And the fact that there's no friction in the balls helps a lot too. So, all right, so that's pretty much it. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure that these changes don't affect your, they don't affect your existing tables too much. And I'm sorry if anything is affected, but I think it'll be worth it because these are some really good changes. I forgot to show you another change that I'm working on, and I think you guys are going to be so tickled because I know I am. Now, if you previously, you can see on the left side over there, it says table angle, 12 degrees. Just ignore the 12 right now because it's essentially at, I think, 3 degrees. So if you would hold the left control button and rotate the mouse wheel, you would adjust the table angle. And you can see right there, it is at 0. So this table is at 0. So if we start a game, and I don't know if we can start a game like this. Spawn a ball, it's just going to kind of roll wherever. Like it's not really going to go anywhere unless it encounters bounce or something. The bounce on some of these rubbers is very high. So it might actually, you know, but you can tell that there's no angle to it. And then if we adjust this, oops, it jumped up there. See, now this is a work in progress, guys, so this won't be as strange and weird as it appears now. Let's see, why is my table not adjusting? All right, I don't know what happened there, but let's just jump out. See, I'm working on this, but I wanted to give you an idea of what I'm working on because this is some big stuff. And I'm also working on some things for bug reports. So there's some bug report stuff. So this is the standard angle. It's going to be 3 degrees. So that'll play kind of like a normal, 80s era pinball. But if we bring it up, it's going to be a little bit faster. Now if we turn the glass off, we can get higher angles, but and we can get legitimate physics on the ball and the speed. As far as vertical speed goes. But there are some things I'm going to need to fix. Like if we go too steep, things are going to start acting very strange. Let's see. Spawning of balls acts very odd when we have such a steep angle. I'm surprised it hasn't bounced off the playfield yet. Let's see how high we can get it. I think we can go up to 90? No, just 45. Okay. Oops. So it actually kind of works well. The only thing that doesn't really work quite right is when it spawns a ball, it's not going to spawn it in the correct spot yet. It's going to spawn it in a weird spot. But I just wanted to show you guys that the table angle will be adjustable and that this will now become a setting in the... Oh, fudge, I hit tab instead of something else. I wanted to hit the number 2 key for cabinet mode. I'm going to add a table angle in here, so that will define that start angle. And I think that'll be a lot better. So that's new. This room, as far as lighting goes, has also been improved. And shadows have been reduced tremendously in here as well. Also wanted to point out that if you want to, in this upcoming iteration of the game, if you wanted to make a lower playfield instead of it being level, I'm working on this now having to be at an angle. So as you can see, that this playfield wood right here is at -5 degrees. So if we make that 0, that's the normal spawn angle of that when it's below the playfield. So what I'm thinking is the way to do this is going to be you make the playfield and it's at 0 angle, and then you group everything, and then as a group you adjust the angle or something. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure that out so that it works right, because if we change the angle of just the lower playfield back to -5, you'll see that everything else is just sort of staying there. And you would have to go through and adjust all these to be like the right way, -5 or whatever, and then move them accordingly. And that's kind of a pain in the butt, especially if you start moving stuff around. It's going to move around strangely. So if I grab that, it's going to move it in a planar fashion, not according to the playfield here, this one, but according to just the planar XY of the game overall. So I'm looking at that, and I think that the best way to do that will be either to institute some really serious math behind this, so that if it's below the normal playfield level, then it'll just take into account this angle. But I don't know. I'm going to have to figure that out, so we'll see. Anyways, so that's something I'm working on too, because if I don't set that up so that that plays at an angle and we leave that at 0, let's go back to that. Let's change that to 0 again, and I'll show you what happens. Also, let's just move these guys out of the way here, and we'll add a couple of these. Oh shoot, that's there, and let's put this here. All right, and now I'm going to go back to the main. I'm going to get rid of this hole with the glass, and I'm just going to put a hole here so we can see this whole thing. Whole thing. And that way when this ball drops in there, let's see. Yeah, let's make that slightly smaller. All right. So I'm just going to save that like so. And that's 2. Yeah, that's fine because I did save. And now I just want to show you that if this playfield below, what the heck happened there? Oh, that's interesting. I know what happened. All right, so see, this is another thing I have to figure out. So the playfield needs to be at 0 when that is getting cut. That is not getting cut correctly now because of the angle of the playfield. So I'm going to have to fix that. But as you can see down here below, there is no angle, so the ball's not going to roll in any direction. I had been using math to make it move the opposite way of the player, and that's not really desirable, is it? Because you don't necessarily want your playfield to always have flippers facing you underneath the playfield. So, so yeah. So there's some things I'm working on here. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get all this physics stuff knocked out and this, oh, that was fun. And this table angle stuff, lost some frames there. That's interesting. Going to get that table angle stuff fixed so that we can do table angles and, you know, you guys can mess around with that and all that fun stuff. So anyway, let's just open up something like Twisted Circus real quick. I just want to take a look at this and see how this looks on here as far as angle goes. So yeah, so like that's the normal angle that it would be at. And I think everything's going to be, well, no. See, I'm going to have to maybe do some adjustment to make that. I got to make that so that it doesn't snap like that, too. Make it a little bit less than, you know, add some decimal places to it. So anyways, yeah, that's going to have to be changed, and that's kind of neat because it looks like, you know, you could work on your game. Yeah, there's not much going on back here, and somebody asked me if I was going to model and build all the stuff behind the playfield too, and I don't know. I think it would be pretty rad to do that, but I don't know that that's going to happen, so we'll see. But anyways, that is the update so far, you guys. As it's going, I'm just going to fix all this so that this works consistently and reliably and the way one would expect it should work. And then I will push this out in the next update. I won't probably be doing much in the way of hitting those bugs that you guys have reported at this time, because I just want to make sure this physics stuff is knocked out so that we have high frame rates. There's another thing that I did notice, and that was that the logic seems to be affected by frame rate as well, and I do not like that at all. So I'm going to be looking at the logic control and making sure it's not based on something, a timing system that is affected by frame rate. So that's important. Because you don't want that to go slow, you know. But anyways, so thanks for watching this. Update coming soon with all these new fixes and improvements. And I think you guys are going to enjoy them a lot. I know I do. This may cut back on the quality of some of the visual quality as far as reflections and shadows and things like that for super high-end pinball or PCs and stuff, but I think that at this point right now it's more important to make sure that the game is just highly performant and that it works like we want it to work. So Thank you for watching, and I will let you guys know as soon as this is ready to rock. And until then, keep on building, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.